There are a lot of things in life that piss me off, like blatant racism, for example. I'm not going to go into everything that pisses me off, but that is one of the things that will immediately get under my skin. Another thing that will immediately get under my skin is what I'm going to call creepers. I'm pretty sure you can imagine the actual word that begins with a P and ends with files. But I'm not going to say it that much because I don't want Spotify or any other platform I'm on to age restrict it or take me down. But I'm guessing anyone who listens to this will know what I'm talking about. So, you also may know who the internet sensation Lil Tay is. And if you've been snooping around on the internet as of recent, you will know that she claims to have just turned 18, where she literally, I don't know when exactly the tweet was made, but she made a tweet stating, and I quote, "Every girl should have an OnlyFans. It empowers women. I'm dropping mine on my 18th birthday." Which I already have enough to fill a podcast episode about that tweet alone. OnlyFans, as a whole, is not just sexual content. I believe it actually started as just like cosplaying and modeling, but it has become so overrun with sexual content that comment alone is derogatory because so many people only know OnlyFans for the sexual content. And I guarantee you Lil Tay knows this. So her posting that basically is saying every single woman should be online posting borderline nudes or straight up nudes because it empowers them. Like, we could go into the whole similar argument about how they were saying, like, women should be able to walk around shirtless because it empowers them. That's not what this is about, but I'm drawing similarities here. But I have an article that actually has a lot of points. I'm not going to directly steal, I'm just going to add a little bit more to, or try to. It's from a site called The Economic Times, and the article is called, "Did Lil Tay Really Make $1 Million on OnlyFans in Just 3 Hours?" For those of you who still really don't know about it, once she turned 18, July 29th, right after midnight, she launched it, and the next day she went to, I believe, Instagram and proclaimed that she made over almost, I don't know if it was almost 2 million, but it was over $1 million in 3 hours, which smashes the OnlyFans record, like by a long shot, if that's the truth. And I believe she posted a video and a couple screenshots where she made around $1,024,000, and she was pretty much bragging about it. The post was removed, obviously, but a lot of people online were not happy about it. And a few comments, I think one of the main ones that's put on here that kind of summed up my thoughts were, one commenter wrote, "Damn, sold her soul the second she turned 18. And another one said, "You could have just stuck to making music, this is ridiculous." Quote, and the article quotes, "Some drew parallels with rapper Bad Baby, who opened her own OnlyFans account shortly after turning 18 and boasted similar earning claims. The comparison only fueled the fire with users accusing Tay of emulating her rival for shock value." And there's another underlying thing here. I'm not claiming that nobody's talked about it, but I'm claiming that a lot of people are too focused on the fact that she's, again, sold her soul, to focus on what I was going to point out, which is the fact that she posted a tweet proclaiming that as soon as she turned 18, she was going to sell or start an OnlyFans. Keep in mind, when you're 17, you are still legally classified as a minor. You're pretty much a young adult, yes, but you are still classified as a minor before you hit 18. So, in saying that, pretty much every single person who was planning to support the OnlyFans indirectly is a PDF file. Because look at it this way. If you were a fan of Lil Tay before she turned 18 and you wanted to donate money and she said she's dropping an OnlyFans and you got excited for it, but you couldn't donate to the OnlyFans because then you would be a PDF file for giving money to a minor for doing what I presumed to be sexual things. Because I'm not saying there are people on OnlyFans who don't do just basic cosplaying and modeling, But as I pointed out before, it's become so synonymous with it that anybody who says the word or the title OnlyFans is only going to think of the sexual aspect. And she 100% had to have known that. There's no way she's so naive that she thought, oh, I'll just point it out there, maybe we can think about cosplays and stuff. Because when you're underage, there's no law against dressing up as a video game character. You could be 10 years old and dress up as Spider-Man, and that's not illegal. But the fact that she specifically said, when I turn 18, I'm doing an OnlyFans, literally also confirmed that she was doing sexual content. Because if she was doing cosplaying, she literally could have just done it then. But I think you and me both, you and I both know, whoever's listening to this podcast right now, you and I both know that they wouldn't have donated nearly as much money if it was just cosplaying. You and I both know it. Those people went to her OnlyFans, and keep in mind, if this had been over the course of a few months, fine. Like, whatever. 3 hours, though. That means there are so many people who were just chomping at the bit for her to turn 18. I would not doubt that there are at least a disgusting amount of people who sat there waiting, probably literally spam refreshing the OnlyFans tab, just chomping at the bit. The second they see Lil Tay, go and donate like their entire paycheck to her. I couldn't tell you an exact number because I don't know everything in the world. And I'm sure there are some people who just wanted to support her. Fine, I don't doubt that. But the fact that you and I both know that there are some people who, if she would have started an OnlyFans when she was like 16, wouldn't have gotten nearly as much money. If the numbers she was proclaiming are true, and she really did in 3 hours make over $1 million, I would be willing to bet that at least 30% of the people who donated to her are pedos. I don't know if Spotify or iHeartRadio or any of the others are going to take me down for outright saying that, but I think we're far enough into where I can say it. You and I both know full well. Just for clarification, I am not making the claim that everyone who donated to her is a PDF file. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are probably an alarming amount of people who were / are, and the only reason they waited to donate is so that they wouldn't pretty much out themselves as a creeper or a pervert. Because again, if she was talking about just basic cosplaying or like a $9.99 a month subscription where you could see her make like extra content or whatever, no, she specified that as soon as she turned 18, she was dropping it, which literally confirmed that she was literally going to post sexual shit. I'm sitting here trying to not just vomit, to be honest. And this also kind of just goes back into another problem. It wasn't the point of this podcast, but it goes into another problem, which is the common society, or just society as a whole, allowing heinous shit to happen just because the person they're letting do it is popular. And I'm not saying Lil Tay is heinous for making an OnlyFans. Like, that would mean that literally any woman or guy who makes an OnlyFans would be heinous, and that's not what I'm claiming. What I'm saying is that just the concept of her promoting her upcoming OnlyFans before she becomes legal, pretty much confirming it's going to be adult stuff, and the fact that there are so many people who were probably chomping at the bit to see I don't even know what to call it, not content creator, I know she makes music, I don't know how good it is, but I know she makes music, a media influencer or an internet superstar. Not everybody, but I'm sure there were an alarming amount of people who were waiting for her to turn 18 just so they could dump their entire month's worth of paychecks into their OnlyFans. It's disgusting. Like, a lot of stuff makes me irritated, but that is legitimately disgusting. And it goes to my earlier claim where I bet you, hell, I would bet anyone listening to this podcast right now my entire month's worth of paychecks, that if she had just been, or if she had said, or if she had went, hey, I'm dropping my OnlyFans on my 18th birthday, And people went to it, and it was just her, I don't know, what's a popular female character? The one girl from Bayonetta, I can't remember her name. If it wasn't sexual at all, and it was just her saying, like, oh, these are the games I play and the girls I'm going to be cosplaying as, you and I both know full well it would have not made nearly as much money. She would have not made $1 million in 3 hours for cosplaying. No. And I'm not going to be a freaking degenerate and make a throwaway OnlyFans account just to check it, because I don't care. But at the end of the day, you and I both know it was sexual shit. You don't even have to go to her OnlyFans right now to prove me either right or wrong. You and I both know full well it was sexual shit. And it doesn't even help the fact that this article, as a whole, calls it Lil Tay's first adult move. That's all the evidence you need right there that it was all sexual shit, which means it probably contains nudes. Because, again, like, okay, I'm not going to make the rest of this podcast episode about this, because this as a whole is just a creepy topic, and I'm not trying to be creepy. I'm giving this clarification. If you're like 16 or 17, you as a female probably have grown parts, I'm just going to call them. And if you go to like the beach or something, you can wear a bikini and still be like 16, 17. That's not illegal. Same thing with like a male teenager. I'm just going to point it out right. I don't care if Spotify really takes me down for it, but if you're 16 and you're a male, you're going to have a dick by that point. Like, just plain and simple, you're going to have a dick at that point. And same with a 16-year-old or 17-year-old female. You're going to have tits, and you're going to have the other thing, which I'm not going to say because, again, age restriction and whatnot. You get what I'm talking about. So, it's not even just necessarily the fact that she started an OnlyFans, because I don't have an OnlyFans, I don't have an OnlyFans account, and I don't ever plan on making one, but I know from various other parts of the internet that sometimes when women make OnlyFans, it's not all just tits flopping in the wind like a pair of, I don't know, potato sacks or something. Sometimes they'll post bikini pics. You don't even need to be on OnlyFans to see that. You can make a Snapchat account right now, and within 10 minutes of scrolling, you will probably see a naked woman. I do not doubt it. But that's, again, not my point. I guarantee you there are nudes in there. Guarantee it. And that, again, disgusts me, because that means there are people who knew. Like, because she promoted it, she's just as much at fault here. She promoted the fact that when she turned 18, she was going to have an OnlyFans where people could pay money to see her nude. And they supported it before she turned 18. They may not have, like, influenced the decision, but because of the fact that they supported it, even if it doesn't make them perverts or creeps, it still disgusts me. Because I'm going to end this off on just talking about this, and I can make an entire another podcast episode about this. I don't like the ideation that women have to sexualize or objectify themselves just to empower, or to feel empowered. Like, that should not be how it is. Imagine if it was like that way for men. Imagine if the only way you could feel empowered as a man is to flop your dick all over the place and get money for it. Hell, I'm not even gonna lie. Basic porn stars, I know a lot of them are happy with what they do, and fair enough, you literally get to have sex for money, but still, that doesn't take away from the fact that you are literally posting yourself nude, having sex, regardless of who it's with, and eventually you're pretty much doing it for the sake of earning money. Because, sure, you could do it just because you want people to see it, which is questionable in of itself, but it's not like you're making a YouTube video where you're playing a game for fun. You're literally doing an activity that to a lot of people is extremely sacred. I mean, sure, I could argue that playing Bloodborne is extremely sacred, and I'm sure there's a community out there who would agree with me, but joking aside, a lot of people still consider having sex to be a sacred act. And the fact that it's become so normalized that there are websites with, I believe the last time I actually heard about it, over 40 to 50 million people in the US alone visit porn sites every day, which is a mind-boggling number. But not even considering all that, the fact that even in a lot of them there have been, again, I have to be really careful with how I word it because restrictions and all that, I'm just gonna say CP. I think you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. The fact that there have been issues with that alone, even on X, formerly known as Twitter, where there are still people to this day who are uploading that shit, is it's mind-boggling. It's genuinely mind-boggling. And the fact, the turd on top of the shit sandwich is the fact that she's sitting here flexing about it. Like, it's not just like a, damn, we literally broke the OnlyFans record, thank you guys so much. It's literally just like, ha, bitches, we broke the record, suck on that, nah. And she's being super smug about it, and not even considering the fact that I'm pretty sure I would be willing to bet at least a good 20 to 30% of the people who are going for it are, again, creeps. And it's just nasty, and we need to stop promoting two things. One, the ideation that creators can just do what they want without any backlash. I'm not saying everyone supports this, but you get my point. This podcast episode is too long as it is. We need to stop pushing the ideation that creators can do what they want, or influencers can do what they want with no repercussions or morality, because it's not true. And I could literally make an entire another podcast episode on creators who have literally committed heinous crimes and not gotten away with it because they are such popular creators. Like that one dude, Jack Doherty, whatever his name is, who literally pistol whipped his friend in the face with an actual gun. And he was so delusional that when the cops came to arrest him, he was like, "You can't arrest me, do you know who I am? I'm a YouTuber, I can do whatever I want." Which, again, that's a podcast episode for another day, but I'm just using it as an example to this outro. We need to stop pushing that, and we need to stop pushing the fact that, like, women have to objectify themselves or sexualize themselves to feel empowered. And that's not entirely women's fault, it's a lot of people's fault in society as a whole, but I'm just saying that in general needs to stop being the agenda we push. And I'll stop ranting in your guys' ear now. I'm sure you're gonna rip my head off in the comments, which is fine, but just, it's genuinely appalling.